We don't want our skills that we learn in the university go to waste. So that's why we start this business. It's just simple as that. We have no connections, no money, actually nobody. We are nobody. I don't have any business background.
Okay.
So it's really hard for me to put the step. It's really uncomfortable. Cash flow is not stable. I was looking for another way to generate sales. I was thinking where the money is.
Okay, that's a good point to start. So today I'm excited to have Aiden Kueh with me of Jaw Studio or JW. I don't know how you pronounce that. JW.
It's called JW.
Okay. But when I see it, I saw Jaw Studio. And then you have this little logo where it looks like a little... so I thought it was like a Jaws thingy, So,
okay.
And I'm excited because I think what you're doing is very relevant in today's industry. Because of COVID back then, now people are very aware of live streams. And they are very open to the idea of being online, and you are moving into live stream. But before we get into all that, right, maybe you tell me what you do, who you are, how do you come to this point where you're doing and focusing on live streaming for events?
I started up as a freelance when I was around 17 years old.
17,
17 years old. But it all started out because of school, like a filming competitions. So I was one of the contestants. After that, I went to Taiwan, furthered my studies as filmmaker, especially in movie.
So you're still pursuing the film industry?
Technically, yes.
Yeah, so you're pursuing the film industry, maybe taking on some interesting creative projects.
Yeah.
But then to put food on the table, you take on some corporate work, some those kind of like commercial work, basically, right?
I found it's quite interesting as well.
How long have you been doing commercial work?
3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years.
Yeah, 3 to 4 years.
And you were in Taiwan doing commercial work for how many years there?
Around 3 years.
You see any difference in terms of people accepting video work in Taiwan versus Malaysia?
My clients, they're mostly from Chinese base. How they talk, how they think, it's kind of sync for some reason. It's not much difference, I would say.
Okay, interesting one, right? You mentioned that, right? Chinese industry. I always want to get into the Chinese industry.
Oh, really?
But I'm banana, so I'm learning Mandarin with Duolingo. Anyway, that's beside the point, right?
Okay.
You see any difference between the spending habits in your customers, right?
Yeah.
From the Chinese industry and the English-speaking industry?
Actually, yes.
Can you share the differences? Like what you noticed? Like, just be candid with me here.
Chinese bosses are kind of quite
okay.
In terms of like paying, since they are really cost effective, I would say.
So they spend 1 ringgit, they want to get back at least 3-4 ringgit.
I would say at least 2 times lah. I spend one, I want to get 2.
Right? Okay.
In English side, right, what I found, they are more like professional. In terms of like working, they are not trying to micromanage you as bad as those Chinese bosses. The structures comes from the English would like Western, and then they brought it in Malaysia, so there's a system over there. But Chinese, right, they work from base. They don't have a very clear structure. What I observe, right, they are quite new to the internet.
The older generation.
The older generation, like the boomer lah. Everything to them is quite new lah. When the gurus, right, they are promoting some of the ideas to them. They quite buy it. You should do something like this. They help them to structure business in a way, since they don't have exposure to these things, so they can't tell which is good, which is bad. They don't ask other people as well. They just learn from, this guru is earning like millions.
Copy paste.
Copy and paste. He's teaching us something must be really
you
good.
Must do this, so you take this and apply this. Right? But in most cases, something that works for someone, right, might not work for you. Right? Even if you are in the same industry. And that's the weird thing, like 2 marketing agencies. One, they get leads from, let's say, conferences. Marketing agency 2 get leads from doing cold calling. Two different methods, but this works for them, this works for them, right? And you sort of attract different sort of customers and different sort of audiences, I think that's the beauty of markets. I think the Chinese speaking industry is huge.
Size, I mean, in terms of like spending power also. For some reason, I found that they're only buying the ideas like it's glory and huge. Is that they are not thinking of, how do I break up my SEO, or how do I optimize my SEO?
They don't want to grow, or not interested to grow methodically.
Yes.
Right? They want to go something like boom, and then, or we run an ad and boom, the ad does all the sales for us, like one hit wonder sort of thing, right? Back to live streaming, right? What made you go into live streaming? Like you said you were doing film, you're doing commercial work, right? And then suddenly you said live streaming. What happened?
We don't want our skills that we learn in the university go to waste. So that's why we start this business. It's just simple as that. We were done in Taiwan. We don't want to be in Taiwan anymore. So then we came back for good. We have no connections, no money, actually nobody. We are nobody. Started out as a hobby. We try to to be a YouTuber.
A YouTuber,
first.
okay.
Yeah.
Creating content.
Creating content.
Tell me more about that. How did it turn out?
Not good, I would say.
What's the challenges? Like what happened?
It didn't turn out good. The views are bad. The engagement is bad. Nobody's watching it. Even we share, nobody haven't shared. It's like we're doing something, but turns out nothing for some reason.
Okay.
The challenge is that we have no exposure.
I think partly also because of competition. You see, we can look at some of the biggest YouTubers, influencers. Wow, they're so big, they create one video, they get millions of views, right? But what about thousands of videos that they created that no views on?
Yeah, true.
It takes a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
And we only see the wins.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that a lot of people who want to become YouTubers actually miss. We see the glory, but we don't see the blood and sweat and tears, Yeah. So it takes a lot of time, I think. It takes a lot of time. And sometimes, understandably, we don't have time. And you need to put food on the table, like we mentioned earlier, right?
We try to run it for the content for 6 months consistently, now stop. We give everything, but nothing comes back. So that's why we decided to start with the business. Turn this YouTube thingy and the filmmaking thingy into a real business that accept client and do client works. Try error. My partner be doing the inner works. I will doing the outer works. We focusing more on sales and marketing. But he will be focusing more on the creative direction of the company. Maybe some portfolios we can create for ourselves to attract better clients. I don't have any business background.
Okay.
So it's really, really hard for me to put the step. It's really, really uncomfortable. We have no income for almost 9 months. For the next 6 months, right, we are paying ourselves 500 per month. Yeah, so I can eat lah. That's how we started out lah.
So you came to Another.com because you were hoping to meet people and then hopefully, be able to connect and pitch your services to them. And then when did you come to a point where you saw like live streaming was the thing that you want to do?
Cash flow is not stable. I was looking for another way to generate sales. I was thinking where the money is.
Okay, that's a good point to start.
Because we did some corporate work, but the money is good. So I was thinking, should we do more corporate work? Why would they choose us? Since there's a lot of well-established video production, video agencies company in Malaysia right now. They have a strong connections with them. We can't just cut it into the corporate work. We need some connections. I found one of my friends. He said, Yang, do you guys do live stream? I was like, what? What's live stream? We need you to help us out or doing the live stream for a client work, and the client is UniChef.
Okay.
It's quite big lah. Yeah. So we were like, wow, I need to learn this now. I just got off the phone and I start researching all the things.
So first lesson I can take from here is like say yes first, figure out later, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Even if you don't know how to do live streaming, you say yes first and then you figure out a way to do it because everything is figure outable, right? What I know is live streaming, right, versus filmmaking. The equipment needed is very different. Do you have any challenge on that or like? Actually,
live stream is all about connectivity. Connections, the cables, what happens with the cables and what happened to connection? What doesn't show up here?
Yeah.
It's plugged in, but it's no signal here. What happened? It's always the connection problem. The equipment that we're using right now is more or less the same as the setup. We are doing the interview right now. And another problem is the recording. With this mirrorless camera, it's not capable of recording for a long time, easily overheat. The battery problem. Sometimes the plug is not enough. You have to use a bigger battery. But bigger battery also runs out, right? You can't change the battery
while live streaming is happening, right?
Yes, okay. That's why. So that's some problem we are running through. What's the solution? I ask the rental company. They're high enough to teach me.
The rental company?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called MGTV. Shout out to MGTV. The flow, how to set up, and what to look out for during the live stream.
So let me just reverse a little bit and pause it there, right? Yeah. So you got this project. Basically, you didn't buy the equipment. You rented from a company to do it.
Parts of it. Yeah.
Do you still do renting today?
Yes. But we are planning to invest in
your own equipment.
But
I like what you've done because, with a lot of businesses that I've talked to, right? Very common in non-entrepreneurs, especially people who are in startup, right? I have the mindset there. I have to get everything ready first before I look for a client, right? And what you did was accidentally opposite. You look for a client first, you got the deal, then now we figure out, we don't have this thing, rent it. And I think you've seen this in the, maybe the programs or even the events that I run, right? We're always doing a lot of pre-selling. The event is not there yet. We don't have the program yet, but we pre-sell to see if there's interest first. There's interest, then we fulfill the demand, right? And I think this works for even like e-commerce businesses also. If you have an idea for a product, right? Go and sell it to like 3 or 10 customers first. Get the cash in, and then use that to build a product. You see, you reduce the risk of buying all the equipment and then going out there and then finding out nobody wants this thing.
Actually, right, We did this thing. This is one of the mistakes we did.
Okay.
Back when we were doing commercials for newbie, we are working with agencies and they are not paying well, overspend, especially on the equipment side. We were thinking maybe we can cover it with the pay of the agencies, but actually it turns out
the cost of equipment is higher than the pay
at the end of the day, since we don't know how to run a business. That's why.
Because you need probably a few deals to cover back for the cost of the equipment.
Exactly.
Right?
I made it also. So that's why I know maybe I should let's try it out first and then see what equipment should I invest in.
I think most entrepreneurs got it opposite, including me myself, because we get excited about things. Like for me, I get excited about running workshops, for example. So I think, I think this workshop will be a cool workshop. I love it. I love the topic. I think people will like it. I build a workshop. I spend a whole month recording videos and all that. Push it out there and then find out nobody wants it. It doesn't solve a problem.
Yeah.
And, one whole month is gone.
That's the worst part.
So right now I've changed my whole approach totally, right? Instead of doing that, I will go out to the market and say, hey, I'm building this is inside. Would you be interested? If you join today, it'll be cheaper or whatever. Open for the next 3 or 4 days only. And then see if people take it or not. If people don't take it, then I'll send a survey. Then what you receive. Right? Then I'm listening like, what are you saying? Oh, you need to see proof. Okay. Then I think of solutions or what I can do, right? Then I thought, hey, I get you in. Let me make you a case study. And then I'll use you for my next cohort. I've been promoting courses and workshops for a long time, right? Workshops and courses are the hardest thing to sell in the world.
Is it?
Yes.
But it's education.
Compared to a lot of other things. An iPhone that costs 5,000 versus a course that worth 5,000. Which one will most people buy? The iPhone, right?
Yeah.
Not the cost. Nobody invests in themselves that much anymore. And the reason for that is because information right now is everywhere. We have YouTube, we have Google, we have everything, right? If you want to learn something, you can just go on YouTube. So courses has lost its value. When people buy something, right, they normally compare it with something else. They anchor it with something else, right? So courses is a hard sell, it's a hard product to sell. And I've been doing that forever, right? One of the things I've learned, right, is it's a mistake to create a course first and then put it out to the market to sell. Rather, pre-sell something, find out a problem, and then build something to solve it. Tweak your existing product or service to solve it, right? I would advise that for any businesses out there.
I think that's a better way since its cost is low, less is low, the risk is low,
and when you get the first few cash coming in, right, you become motivated to go and build a product. So I think what you're doing is also that maybe you accidentally found yourself doing that. So it's great, really it's great, right?
Okay.
And I thought that was a good thing to take away as well. What do you think is the biggest problem it solves for customers?
Can treat brand as like a person. How would you
how do you feel about this person?
How to feel, the gut feeling is like what Christo said. The gut feeling of the brand is a gut feeling. Live stream is like a straightforward. You can't pre-record everything. So that's why you like face the camera.
You're seeing the real stuff.
They're seeing the real stuff, right? Exactly.
So what sort of people would be interested to do a live stream?
There's two things. Broadcasting and live stream, they are totally two different. Broadcasting can be, I show something on here, on the screen over there. Okay, broadcasting that's one thing. Another broadcasting mindset is that broadcast to the world, to the mass.
Okay.
Live streaming is like a very targeted community. Only certain people are allowed to enter and watch the live stream. For the mass, right, it's hard to sell things. So like launching for product is for mass.
It's just more like a brand awareness thing.
Brand awareness, top of the funnels, like what Apple are doing, they are launching their first iPhones or Google's, Samsung. They are doing the broadcasting thing. They are not doing live stream. Live streaming for right now in our industry, right, they are mostly doing broadcasting more than live streaming. One is hard sell thing. Of course, we are doing live streaming because of it's not just to build the connection engagements. It's at the end of the day, we still want to have some conversions, right? Live streaming always has a better hand when it comes to selling than broadcasting. Saying broadcast is to anyone, man. You're not talking to specific audience. Live streaming is like, hey, you are my audience. So you know me, I know you, and I'm selling this to you for you only.
So broadcast is when you are, let's say, launching a product. You're not specifically talking to the person behind the camera, right? You are just doing your stuff, a camera shoots you. That's broadcast. Live stream is you are engaging with the person and say, hey, you're talking to the person. So the person watching on the end feels like you're talking to me. And they feel this connection with you. Because of that, it's easier to encourage an action.
Yes.
Like, hey, you there, we have this amazing product that will help solve a problem, but it's certain amount or discount today. Get it right now, link here, I'm going to paste it there. They get it because it's like you're talking to them.
Yes, exactly.
And they can respond also if they want to.
You can even read their message and reply to them.
Yeah.
That's back when I was attending a 4 days webinars. So the webinar is talking about like how to do a sales. At the end of the day, there's some engagement but the thing is, I don't feel safe to purchase it since there's not much proof and there's quite pressure selling.
Yeah, okay,
I was under pressure. I don't like it. I want to have my time to think about it, since it's a quite big chunk of money to invest in these courses. And I'm not sure whether it work for me. Even though they say, oh, there's a lot of testimonials on the it is about students, that's what they do. It feels scripted lah on those webinars. So what I see, they don't do good things on doing the brands, the names, because of content. They are not pushing up content. Since the audience is the mass, right? They need to educate the mass who they are, what they do, and how they do things, and the success rate or everything lah, so they can better understand. But they don't do this. This is straight into the mass market. And here's what we do. Do you want it? And this is the price. And I don't think that's a very effective way lah. Once you have a good base, you put live stream on it or broadcasting or anything on it, it's a booster. So you can't just you don't have anything and you just go live stream. Back to the questions. Who is this for? Who has a big offline audience but haven't tried to sell things online?
Okay, interesting. So I think it applies for events. It applies for people with physical products who have not done anything online. It also applies for maybe, brick and mortar businesses who wants to connect people online. So there's many use cases, right? But maybe perhaps what you can do is to zoom down into one area first and then expand later on. It's not easy to do. Sounds easy to do. But as you do that, right, you get all sorts of FOMO, fear of missing out, right? Oh, if I take this one, then I'm missing out on that chunk, right? It's very common and something that I feel myself. So, and you also mentioned people selling courses. I don't think courses is a bad thing to sell. Honestly, if I put it out there, right? It's not evil to sell a course, right? But there are people who sell courses that feels very scammy,
Yes.
And they're just there to get your money, that kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
And maybe what you're trying to say is like, these people, they've never done any content. They never put themselves out there. Suddenly they came out with this mega event, and then in the event they expect to sell you straight away. Right? Without building that
the connection,
rapport, that trust, that relationship with you, right? That model, I think, works for certain kind of people. Seminar junkies, people who go to seminar over seminar, those kind of things works for them. They tend to fall into this kind of things, like this is what they do. Right? I mean, if you've ever been to a seminar of this sort, right, you feel like 80% of people around you is those kind of people, and
exactly.
High-five next to you and all that. Yeah, today
press one, press two.
Oh my gosh, And those are those kind of people. So what you mentioned works for the kind of
for them.
That kind of them, And I totally understand this because I came from a course program sort of things as well. But the way I'm trying to push them is to do it a bit different, I do think people have to be told what to do and push what to do. For example, if you don't add any scarcity in your offer, right, they won't take action. They would take their time, they will, do whatever, and then they forget about it. It's just us as humans. And that's why in those kind of like webinars, they put a timer today only and then pressure you to take action, right? The downside to that is sometimes it can create buyer's remorse, meaning that you buy it, 2 days later, you feel like, oh, this is not what I want. Right? And then it's hard to get a refund. You feel like, a little amount of scarcity push is good. But when you overdo it, right, then, people don't like it, right? And I think people today are smart. They can tell if a speaker who is speaking and selling is genuine or not, right? Whether they are out there to really add value or just out there to just
take cash.
Just do a cash grab and then and give out some mediocre products, But I do think live streams is an amazing avenue because when you approach me, right, and you mentioned Underdog, why Underdog is not doing this, right? One of the reasons is, yes, expertise. When you run events, there's a lot of things to handle. There is your on ground, there is your speakers, there is your attendees, and to make everyone happy. There's the food, there's the venue, a lot of things to handle. And that kind of amount of work needs to be done, right? The next thing you're going to do is add another portion. Which is live streaming, and then,
and you need to think about live streaming.
Imagine halfway through the live stream goes down. So back then, right, in one or two of the Underdog.com events, I tried doing my own sound. So like, the place had their own PA system. So I thought, no need to hire an audio specialist. I can do it myself, get my team to do it. All of us don't have the expertise of doing it, right? We did it anyway. It went okay, but there was a lot of like drop out and all that, audio cut off, mic cannot use. And then recording got screwed up halfway, the audio recording. And I felt like it's not worth it, right? To take on everything yourself.
Yes.
And that's why I didn't do live streaming, because if I want to do live streaming, then I would have to
hire another team.
Either do it myself or hire another team. But I didn't take the time to go and hire another team or find another team until you came up to me.
Okay.
Right? So when you go approach another business owner or another event organizer, right, I believe the problem I'm facing is similar to them. So what we want is, if you can take care of that 100%, great.
Okay. I'm all in.
I'm great, I'm good. How much it costs? Then I start thinking, it costs this amount, X amount. What's my upside? If I invest this in this, right, what do I get back? And normally business owners, they want to get back something in monetary terms. Like, if I spend 10,000 on a live stream, I want to at least get back maybe 15, 20. If not, what is the value I'm getting from it? Right? So that part is also another challenge when it comes to selling it. But I think one of the biggest pain point, I know I want a live stream, but I don't want the stress of handling it.
Yes.
And I don't have the manpower for it. So I think that's the common problem that people have.
That's pain points.
The pain point that people have.
That's what I was thinking, maybe that what I was discussing with my partners, right? What were their organizers' pain points? Since there's a lot of things to care about, like maybe the speaker's not doing well, or maybe something like that, the PA system's not good, the aircon is not working, the food is not good.
Internet,
or even raining, something like that. You have to care about. So the last thing we want to do is like
put more pressure. Another live stream. Oh my god, that's why we decided not to do it. Same thing, in the previous Most Underdog Con, right? I decided to hire a professional audio team and an LED screen team, and they do everything. During the event also, they help me switch the
switcher
the switcher and audio. If there's problems or whatever, they are doing it, right? So during the day, I felt so free on. I don't have to worry about this audio thing anymore, and I felt like, that's the best. The audio is not expensive. I think it was 2,000 or 3,000.
Oh, okay.
For the audio setup, right? The speakers, the best 2,000 or 3,000 spent, rather than trying to save these 2,000 or 3,000 and then doing it yourself, and then audio got a problem and all that. So I learned that way, like. So I think a lot of business owners have this kind of thing as well. You just have to help them see that this could be a potential headache that they want to avoid. And that's where you come in. So beautiful. When you talk to people, they don't realize one, right?
Yeah, true.
Even for me, I don't realize it. Like, let's just save that 2,000 and get my own team to do it. We can do it, right? Yeah. Like Sri, I don't know if you met Sri, my staff. He used to be an audio engineer. Audio engineer knows audio stuff, right? I don't need to hire someone outside to do it, right? But it did turn out well because he had too many things to do. But before that, I wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
My mind is like, as a business owner, you can call me a capitalist, but let's save money, so we can make more, right? And then we regret it. So when you go out there to pitch to a client, right, you need to raise up these points so that, they remember these things and imagine these emotions and I've experienced this before or and I don't want to experience it again. I think we spent a lot of time on this talk, right? But let's end this with a very simple question.
All right.
Where can people find you?
Actually, people can find it on our website. It's called www.thejawstudio.com. I'd rather you guys find me on just contact me directly.
Where can they contact you?
Can I say a number?
We're going to put it down there in the video.
Here. Okay, please edit the number here.
Okay. So I think you prefer to speak to people first before you go.
I like the method of understanding your problem first, then only tell
prescribing something.
Prescribe something like something like that, right?
I know which one you're talking about. I know which one. Let me just.
You watch it also, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a quite known quote, So amateurs prescribe, I think.
Prescribe.
Professionals diagnose.
Diagnose is the word. Diagnose.
Yeah, diagnose. All right. Thanks, Aiden, for this time.